Hey guys, Mary Lamish here. Welcome back to my channel. Whether you are an art teacher or a parent or want to teach art, this video is for you. In this video, I will be sharing 3 drawing project ideas for middle schoolers. Drawing is an important skill to be cultivated in this specific age group while also keeping it fun. You can alter these projects to fit your students the best, whether that's incorporating other materials or doing more of a group project together, whatever you need to do to make it work for your class. So let's dive in. So the first project for middle schoolers, drawing project specifically, is fashion design. So the materials you'll need for this project are normal paper, ruler, pencils, erasers, maybe fashion photos or fabric samples, those types of things. So you can be teaching them the proportions of a human body or the proportions of like a mannequin that they'd be using in fashion. You can practice some movement, working simple sort of figure drawing, nothing too fancy. You can figure out proportions, teach the skeletal structure, if you want to get that in depth, depending on how many weeks you want to spend on this project. Front and side view, you can simplify it even more, add a little bit more flesh to the poses, to the people, and then have them do a project where they create a simple pose. Maybe they play with colors that they want to use in their outfit, and then you give them a piece of tracing paper to use over the top where they can practice some different outfits on their mannequin, okay? But then that's a separate piece. They don't have to mess up their mannequin. And then you can do that a few times if they want to try some different outfits on their mannequin. And then you can have them also just hand-eye coordination, working on copying what you see. Give them some fabric samples and have them practice copying those things. Have them play with colors that they like. And then at the end, they can recreate this mannequin on a new piece of paper, incorporating their colors, incorporating their design that they had thought of on the tissue paper, on the tracing paper, and try to create a finished costume or fashion design on a mannequin, front and side view, ideally, maybe a back view. Just gives them some different options, but super, super fun. You could honestly do this with some high schoolers also, or even younger ages, just simplifying some of those steps along the way, but a super, super fun project to incorporate drawing with some colored pencil and all of that. And you can also go crazy by having them do a bunch of different mannequins, all wearing different outfits. There's a lot of places you can go with this idea, but super, super fun. Second project, I like to call sort of a scientific observation drawing, where you're going to have your student pick a plant that they want to focus on. It could be from different photo references. It could be a physical plant. What you'll need for this project is paper, maybe watercolor paper or mixed media paper if you're incorporating watercolor into this picture. Pencils, erasers, plant reference photos, or actual plants from life, colored pencils or watercolors, a thin Sharpie or pen. And so what you want them to do is you're using the white space, kind of like what you'd see in a science book where they're talking about plants or a bug or an animal, where they're sort of dissecting it into different parts. Thinking of this project kind of like that. So if I'm doing a rose, I can use this as an example. I could be drawing the rose in detail over here, kind of mostly the petals and the flower itself. You can go freehand with a pen, or you can have them use a pencil to sketch it out first and then use pen as an outline. But creating sort of choosing different views of the plant to focus on. This is kind of an up-close side view. But then having that disappear so that you have room for other parts of the plant. So maybe this section down here is focusing on the leaves. Maybe this over here is focusing on the thorns, blowing up certain parts of it, focusing detail on certain areas, but not worrying about your background or anything. You're just focusing on certain parts of the plant. And then they can add color and whatnot as they go. They can even add titles. So this is a rose. Think of fancy ways to label these parts. But it's a great way for them to observe what they're looking at, draw what they see, get it out on paper, but it's also very simple. And then, of course, they can finish it off with colored pencil or just a little bit of watercolor to kind of bring it to life. Obviously, focusing on the drawing part being the emphasis. And then the final project is a graph paper animal with colored pencils. Materials for this project are a pencil, graph paper, colored pencils, and an animal reference photo. So this is easy. You just give them graph paper and they can each choose their own animal that they want to do, but it's basically teaching them to interpret an animal photo or picture into something that's more structured, more geometric like this. So obviously this is and they don't have to use each box precisely like that, like drawing along the edge of each box. You could go bigger. You could say they have to be two squares big, but how do you create a cat drawing on grid paper, graph paper? Maybe you allow dividing diagonally across, maybe you don't, up to you as the teacher. And you're teaching them how to create it without using curved lines. So it's not going to look accurate. So it's kind of a little bit of a brain burn in some way because you're trying to create a picture that's going to look like the thing without being able to do curved lines. Maybe they have to do it from their head. Maybe they don't use a reference photo. But just kind of a fun project, a fun way to use pencils, use colored pencils, use something that's a little more structured, like a grid, basically. But they have to interpret it themselves from a photo from their head into this sort of geometric line drawing. I hope you found these 3 art projects helpful. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more art content like this, including other art instructional videos and ideas. See you next time. Bye.